They said it was a mature market. Innovation had plateaued. Handheld analyzers didn't measure carbon. Yet through our determination, innovation, and expertise, Sciaps is climbing mountains the industry giants didn't even know existed. We are Sciaps, founded in 2013 by Don Sackett, Dave Day, and Gary Lordy. In only 5 years, we have created 3 best-in-class handheld analytical instruments for elements, minerals, and compounds.
The founders of this company have been doing this for 20 plus years. Started this company about almost 5 years ago, and in less than 5 years, we've taken the technology leadership position on all 3 key technologies: X-ray for elemental analysis, LIBS for elemental analysis, Raman for chemicals and minerals and molecular analysis.
The target market for Sciaps is over $600 million and growing, with global sales and distribution substantially in place.
You know, our sales, they double every year, and they've been doing that for years. Performance of the company has been terrific, but we're not going to sit back and say, oh, this has been great, we've got this great product, our sales are doubling, let's all take time off. Like, we're already working on the next generation of X-ray, the next generation of laser, the next generation of Raman. We're going to continue to grow, we're going to continue to innovate products.
We see what others don't. We do what others won't.
All right, so let's first talk about PMI and Gndt and basic alloy quality control. So here's how the 550 handles that. This is largely targeting the PMI guys. So when you turn the unit on, first of all, let's talk about the shape of the unit. Very narrow snout, less than an inch, 0.8 inches wide to be exact, and a nice long taper. We designed it that way deliberately for great accessibility into difficult to reach welds, flanges, other locations. Secondly, you got the heat sinks here and here, so you can use it all day long in really hot climates without the device overheating. But the other thing we did is we really made this an Gndt purpose-built analyzer. So you turn it on, you have your Android operating system, when you press analyze, what you'll see is you get 3 apps show up: alloy, residuals, sulfidic corrosion. Now, as new applications come up, we can add those. But the point of this is, if you're just doing general PMI, verifying alloy chemistry and grade, use alloy. You tap that, you shoot stuff, you get your answers. For example, let's take something that everybody knows and loves. Simple 316, you get it in 1 second, you get your chemistry. That's all done. You get your grade ID up at the top, you get your chemistry, you're good. So, however, what we're seeing more and more of in PMI especially is low RE material, residuals. So what we did is we created a dedicated app for that. Therefore, the testing time is preset, because for those low RE materials where you're looking at 0.02, 0.03 nickel, chromium, copper, below 0.02 niobium and vanadium, you don't want to do 2-second tests. You're gonna have to test a little longer to measure those concentrations precisely. So instead of the operator having to remember to change their test time, or worse yet, forgetting and coming back with bad data and having to repeat the testing, we put that into a dedicated app. So you tap residuals, and it is pre-configured to be perfectly optimized for residuals. As you'll see, the user interface is too. So now when you test a residual material, it tests to a preset time, and what you see at the top is it's showing the 5 residual metals: chrome, nickel, copper, vanadium, and niobium. And then the top 2 lines are showing the formulas. CNC is chrome plus nickel plus copper, and NBV is niobium plus vanadium. So it sums the concentrations, and you'll see from here, this is one that would pass a low RE because it's using chrome, copper, nickel. The sum is 0.096, which is below 0.15, so you're good to go. Niobium plus vanadium would fail because the vanadium is nice and low, but the niobium is rather high on that, 0.04. But the point is, it shows you the sum, the 2 residual formulas, it shows you the values, And since it's X-ray, it's always going to use chrome in that CNC formula. Why? Because if carbon is greater than 0.18%, you have to include chrome. X-ray doesn't measure chrome, so we include it by default. So that's your residuals app for PMI, set up to really be optimal to do residuals work in these HF alky processes. The second thing, now let's go back to our home screen. The second one you'll see on there is sulfidic corrosion. So we'll tap that. Now sulfidic corrosion, you're looking at less than 0.1% silicon in a steel. So for sulfidic corrosion with X-ray, you need to do a 2-beam test. The first beam to identify it's a steel, the second beam to measure the silicon. So same story for this app, we set up it to be optimal for that application. So the operator doesn't have to remember to do a 2-beam test or change test times or things like that. Again, you don't want to risk the operator going out, setting the unit up wrong, coming back with bad data, and having to repeat the testing. So we put all that in a dedicated app. So now for sulfidic corrosion, you see how fast this unit is, and on silicon, it does about a 1-second test to make sure it's a steel, and then it flips to the second beam, and you'll see in just a couple of seconds that silicon around 0.09 comes right in about 2 or 3 seconds. So it's lightning fast on silicon in that second beam. So that's why this has been really a popular unit, because it's got the residuals built in, it's got the sulfidic corrosion app set up correctly, and more importantly, it's really fast on silicon. It'll do that silicon in a couple of seconds, as you just saw. So that's it. That's the PMI version of the gun. Again, long, narrow snout, metal frame for really good durability and heat resistance. And on the front end, the normal window is Proline. If you break the window, you simply pop it out with a tool we provide. But if you are doing in-service PMI on materials in excess of about 250 C, we do include a thin Kapton window to use instead. Kapton has a melting point of above more than 450 C. So if you're doing really hot in-service work, use the Kapton. And that's it. That's your PMI gun.